Hi, I'm Wendy Simon Sinkler. I'm a singer and co-founder of Jazz Bridge, and I have to say, Carol and Woody, thank you so much for everything that you have done for the sake of musicians.
Hello everybody, my name is Michael Pedersen, and I would like to just take a couple of minutes and talk to you about how important Carol and Woody are to all of us. Obviously, the people that are here tonight are people that care about this music. And Carol and Woody, I can honestly say, were trailblazers for many years. I think 16 and a half years that they fought the system, so to speak. And I think respectfully, I must say that you must realize that we're talking about South Jersey. So it wasn't an easy thing to do, to bring that artistic sensibility to an area that really didn't foster that. We know as a jazz audience that our country doesn't really give us a whole lot of support in that direction, but those of us that love this music fight hard to maintain it, to keep it going, to play it, those of us who play it. I see Jeff Dupron, of course, is here, keeps it on the air as it should be. So I think they deserve just a whole lot of credit. Cape May, interestingly enough, which is where they began doing this, did have a small jazz club called the Shire, which was also quite impressive for that neighborhood, so to speak. That was a club, Wayne, who brought that kind of music in all the time. But again, fighting for America's true art form, only true art form really, of ours, which is this music that we all love, jazz, was not an easy thing, still is not an easy thing. And Carol and Woody maintained it and fought hard to get together with other people who, without me really knowing, also must have been difficult to deal with at times, being politically involved, and city folks and people that ran Cape May and all of those kind of things. But they were able to do 2 festivals a year, November and April of every year. And as a musician myself, being part of that a couple of times was a wonderful experience. Carol was tough. Sometimes I had to beg a little, which is okay. We're used to begging a little when we have to. But she maintained it, she did it well, she fought hard for the artists, she put them on well, she found more venues than you can imagine that aligned themselves with her and Woody to be able to present so much music throughout that entire city, if I may, of Cape May for a weekend. And I remember the first time that I either attended or played, I don't remember which it was, but I saw so many New York license plates, and I was so impressed by that I think, wow, people do drive from the city to come to Cape May, not only to go to the beach, but these people are here to hear some great music, again, America's true art form. And seeing Woody sit in front of me, I also have to say that Carney's, when we would play there in the afternoons, when you would do that jam session, in fact, I remember playing in one room earlier and then going into the jam session later, where all the musicians would come and Woody would direct us on and off the stage, and you were such an important part of that whole thing with a microphone in your hand, getting the people excited, keeping the musicians in place, so to speak, and all of that. So if I can ask just for a little bit of a hand for Woody, and Carol couldn't be with us tonight, for all that they've accomplished and done, and all that they've brought to this community, they deserve a whole lot of love and appreciation. That's all I have to say. I love you all for being here. I thank you, and I would like to introduce 2 also fighters for this music. Wendy Simon from the Jazz Bridge, a very important organization that helps musicians to a lot of extremes, especially in need. And they also present a lot of great music in the Philadelphia and South Jersey area. And also my favorite disc jockey, not only on RTI, but on all of the stations, whether it's Sirius Radio or anywhere else, Jeff Dupron. Wendy Simon, Jeff Dupron.
Yes, I'm Wendy Simon, and with Jazz Bridge 14 years ago, Suzanne Cloud, another singer, and I, out of need of a jazz musician who was very ill, and we decided to do something about it. So Jazz Bridge is a nonprofit that helps our local jazz and blues musicians who are in crisis. Yes, we do support the music as well, and we are thrilled that we're honoring Woody and Carol because they have supported many musicians through the years, giving them jobs. That's how we can keep our musicians working and keep them well. We have an award called the Making a Difference Award. Every year we give one to people who have deserved and made a difference in the jazz community. And I know that Woody and Carol have made a huge difference. They've also made a difference with musicians by supporting Jazz Bridge. They have been very supportive of our organization. So we're about helping the musicians who make the music we love. And not only do Woody and Carol support the music by giving tons of musicians through the years, lots of work, but they also help to support the musicians in their times of need through us. We really appreciate that. And I'd like to introduce Jeff. Many of you hear his voice on WRTI. He also is the board president of Jazz Bridge. So I'm going to turn it over to Jeff.
Wendy Simon Sinclair. When I hear the words Miles, Coltrane, Sassy, those are one-word identifications for people. And what you've heard from both Wendy and Michael is Woody and Carol, because everyone knows them as Woody and Carol. You don't have to know their last name. If you don't know it, it's Carol Stone and Woody Woodland.
Woodstones.
Woodstone. But the thing that you need to know is that those two individuals were instrumental in keeping jazz alive here in this region. I met them over 15 years ago, and there was one time that came to mind. I was thinking about it as I was driving up here, or down here, I should say. It was probably 2009 when Carol and Woody wanted to honor and pay respect to the musicians in New Orleans who had just suffered through Hurricane Katrina. And they brought a bevy of New Orleans musicians up here, and they reached out to me to contact those musicians, and also gave me the honor of hosting a press conference with all those musicians. And it was just heartfelt, you know, to hear those musicians talk about their loss and have the opportunity just to sit down and talk with them and just have that connection back to New Orleans, because that's where I'm from originally. And I really appreciated that, and they thought enough about me to have me come in and help them with their festival. And as Michael said, April and November, you know, I've been coming down the Cape May area for a long time, and I've enjoyed coming to this area and celebrating jazz with Woody Woodland and Carol Stone. So please welcome up to the stage, Woody Woodland.
I thought I came here to eat.
And you're not gonna get the mic yet. Go stand over here.
You know I want the mic.
Yeah, he wants the mic. I can tell you he wants the mic. This is the 7th Annual Jazz Bridge Making a Difference Award, Carol Stone and Woody Woodland, for your contributions to the South Jersey, Philadelphia jazz communities, 2016. Woody, congratulations. Thank you so much for what you've done now, and keep on doing it as long as you can.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know, one of the things when Michael mentioned that the jam sessions in Carney's, Woody wouldn't give the mic up to anybody. He wanted everybody to know who the musicians were on the stage, but he didn't want to give the mic up to me. I was one of the MCs. I couldn't get the mic out of his hand, so this is me passing the mic to Woody Woodland.
Thank you. Thank you. Jazz is something very special to me because I was raised in a house where there was jazz. My mother was a hairdresser. They call them beauticians now. And she did a hair with a lady named Bessie Smith and another lady named Ethel Waters. And they used to, she would sit me in their laps. And you know, and I knew these people, and I knew all the old timers, Count Basie and them. They used to come to my house and eat chitlins and everything, you know, when I was a little boy. So jazz has always been a part of my life. And the one thing I want you to understand is this. The Jazz Festival, when we started, it wasn't for us to get popular, and it wasn't about the music. It was about the musicians. We wanted to make sure that these guys who put on this professional act all over America and never received the rewards monetarily that they should have. So we wanted to make sure that musicians that came to Cape May for the Cape May Jazz Festival, not only will we pay them, we'll feed them, and we'll put them up and let them sleep, and we'll make sure that they get what they deserve, because jazz is the kind of thing that brings everybody together. It brings people together, I don't care whether they're young or old. People came to Cape May to remember, and some came to forget. A lot of them met each other at the Cape May Jazz Festival. Some of them ended up getting married, some of them ended up getting divorced, but they all kept going back. I had no idea how popular the Cape May Jazz Festival was until I was in Havana in December. And I was sitting right up in the front, and the people down in Havana, you know, they speak nothing but Spanish. English folks weren't going down there that much, so they spoke nothing but Spanish. I speak Italian. So I'm sitting there trying to talk a conversation and everything. So finally I told the woman I'm from Cape May, New Jersey. And this is my wife. She is the founder, we are the founders of Cape May Jazz Festival. And I kept talking, and the next thing I knew, there were cameras, and television, and everything all around us. And Carol said, Woody, what on earth did you tell those people? But they were surprised and pleased. And everybody there were people from Africa who had been to the Cape May Jazz Festival. They came to Cuba when Cuba opened up. And people from Italy and from France. And I touched those folks when I went around. That's how we got the Jazz Festival started. I was a PR man. The only PR department we had was me. The only logistical department was Kyle. Kyle took care of the research and the logistics, and I went out and ran my mouth. When we went to the jazz festivals and the bands take a break, I would jump on that stage and grab the mic, and with my best voice, I said, let's have a big hand for that band that just got here. And then I told them about the Cape May Jazz Festival. That's how I publicized it. We found out how to sell the Shore. We found out how to sell Cape May, and people came by the thousands. I might have told some stories. I told them that everybody in Cape May was friendly. They weren't. I told them that everybody in Cape May liked jazz. They don't. But the people came. And so many people came that they thought their actions was indicative of those from Cape May. And that made jazz stand good. And that's what made me feel good. And that's what made Carol feel good. I want to thank you for this award. I can't wait to get back to Carol. She's not having a good time of it.
Woody, that was very moving. We all truly wish that Carol could be here, without a doubt. Carol did so much for so many musicians, big and small. I mean, Clark Terry, Spyro Gyra, Pat Martino, they had them all. 33 festivals over 16 and a half years, it pretty much says it all. The jam session on Sunday was where a real melting pot, where lots of young musicians, Pieces of a Dream, got their start coming down and playing at Cape May. And those jam sessions were just wonderful. It's all about giving to the youth. I tell that story all the time for each of our events, that it's really up to us to introduce jazz to the young, to our grandchildren, to our own children, let them listen to jazz, turn them on to jazz, make them listen with you, explain to them what the music is. There's a lot of roots to this music. So, Woody, on behalf of the South Jersey Jazz Society, we've created an award called the Jazz Producers Appreciation Award. for Carol K. Stone and Woody Woodland. Appreciation for your devoted service to live jazz performance and creation of the Cape May Jazz Festival from South Jersey Jazz Society. God bless you.
Oh, thank you, Bob. Thank you so much. I think these are the only awards we've ever gotten in the 16 years that we've been doing the Jazz Festival. But I can remember a time sitting at my table was Clark Terry and Oscar Brown and little Jimmy Scott. And I mean, guys sitting at my table. I remember when I used to buy their albums, and here I was paying them now to come and play for us. And it was amazing. The greatest time of my life was being involved. Now, that wasn't the only thing. Carol and I had done a lot of things. The Cape May Jazz Festival was only one of our successes. But we've done a lot. Everything we got ready to do together, we did it, and we did it well. And all the musicians that came from all over, from Africa, South Africa, Hugh Masekela, you know, and all those people. And the jam sessions on Saturday was like a breath of fresh air. If you've never seen a jam session before, you haven't seen it unless you saw the one in Carnage. Am I right, Michael? And that's the way it was, and we enjoyed it all. I want to thank everybody for this, I'm going to call this a celebration, because when I go back home, that's what I'm going to explain to Carol. This is a fine celebration. I appreciate it. I love it. I love all of you, and I want to thank you for supporting Cape May Jazz Festival all those years. I thought we were forgotten, but I'm so glad I'm here tonight. Jeff, thank you, and you, and Bob, all of you. My pleasure, sir. All right. Oh.
Congratulations.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
I don't sing. Oh, boy.
I also just want to thank the South Jersey Jazz Society for support with Jazz Bridge and having us be here tonight too. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Listening to Woody's speech, I was really moved and upset actually, because no one had acknowledged you guys before the way that you really should be acknowledged. And we're celebrating you. Tonight we celebrated you, and there are a lot of people that love you that were in the audience tonight. And I just want you to know how much we love you, and I'm sure there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people all over the world who love you and love what you have done. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeff Duper, and I'm with WRTI. And I'm taking this opportunity to say hello to Carol Stone. Carol I met over 15 years ago, and she embraced me when I first met her because she thought I could be a part of the festival that could kind of keep her abreast of what new musicians were out there. Now, Carol knew about jazz, there's no question about it, but she wanted to hear about the young musicians that were up and coming because she wanted to include them in the festival as well. And she always had those musicians that she had known and trusted for many years. And each year, Carol would have a theme. And one of the years, as I discussed a little earlier, one of the themes was celebrating New Orleans musicians just after Hurricane Katrina. And I really appreciated the fact that she reached out to me and she asked me if I would be the moderator for a panel of New Orleans musicians, and I'll never ever forget her for that. She's always been someone I've looked up to, and I've appreciated all the work that she's put in to keeping jazz alive in our area. South Jersey, Philadelphia, all throughout the region. So Carol, Woody, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your life.